Have you ever stood before something so ancient, so massive, so impossibly perfect, that it made you question everything we know about history? The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just a monument, it's a riddle carved in stone. A structure older than the Roman Empire, older than the Bible, older than most civilizations we even study today. Built over 4,500 years ago, this pyramid wasn't just the tallest man-made structure in the world for nearly 4,000 years, it still defies explanation to this day. We're talking about over 2 million limestone blocks, some weighing as much as a space shuttle, stacked with surgical precision. No cranes. No computers. No steel tools. So how did the ancient Egyptians do it? Was it a feat of brilliant engineering? A forgotten science? Or something else entirely, something lost to time? And why is it aligned so perfectly with the stars? Why does it sit at the geographic center of all land mass on Earth? And what secrets lie in its hidden chambers, some of which we've only just begun to discover with modern technology? This is not just a video about stones and sand. It's a journey into one of the greatest mysteries of human history, one that may reshape how we think about our ancestors. And maybe even ourselves. So sit back, open your mind, and get ready to unravel the story of the Great Pyramid of Giza like never before. Because once you start digging, you might find more than just history. You might find truth. The pyramid's origins, who really built it. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as one of the most awe-inspiring structures on the planet. But before we explore how it was built, there's one question we must answer first: who built it? Mainstream history tells us it was constructed around 2560 BC, during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, the second ruler of Egypt's fourth dynasty. His name is even found scrawled on a stone block deep inside one of the inner chambers, leading many to believe he was the man behind this monumental project. But here's the problem. There's no detailed record of the pyramid's construction. No blueprints. No step-by-step explanations. Not even an ancient document describing the engineering process. And for a civilization that documented everything, from grain counts to personal love letters, that silence is deafening. So the question remains, was Khufu truly the mastermind? Or was he simply a ruler who claimed credit for something far older? Theories around its builders: some scholars believe the pyramid was built using tens of thousands of laborers over 2 decades. These were not slaves, as Hollywood might have you believe, but well-fed, skilled workers who lived in nearby camps. But even then, many questions remain. Where did they get the precision to align the pyramid almost perfectly with true north? How did they move multi-ton stones from quarries over 500 miles away? And perhaps the most controversial theory of all, that the pyramid predates Khufu entirely. Some researchers argue that erosion patterns on the nearby Sphinx suggest a much older date, possibly 10,000 years ago, during a period when Egypt's climate was drastically different. If that's true, it would mean that an even earlier civilization, one lost to history, may have had the knowledge, the tools, and the motivation to build this ancient wonder. Music shifts slightly, more intense, inquisitive mainstream versus alternative views. Mainstream Egyptologists stick to the Khufu narrative, backed by carbon dating and the quarry marks found inside the structure. But alternative historians, like Graham Hancock and Robert Bauval, suggest the pyramid is aligned with Orion's belt, and that this cosmic connection might hint at a much deeper, older origin. Were the builders trying to mimic the heavens? Or were they simply honoring something greater, something we've forgotten? One thing is certain: the more we dig into the origins of the Great Pyramid, the more the mystery deepens. So now that we've questioned who built it, next we ask, how? In part 2, we'll dive into the most baffling construction theories, from mile-long ramps to hidden technologies, and reveal why no one can seem to agree on how this megastructure was actually put together. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss part 2 of this deep dive into the ancient world's greatest enigma. How was the Great Pyramid built? Construction mysteries, from million-ton stones to architectural perfection, this is where the mystery gets real. The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just massive, it's mind-blowingly precise. And if you think building something that huge over 4,500 years ago was just a matter of stacking stones, think again. We're talking over 2.3 million blocks, each weighing between 2 to 15 tons. And according to most historians, it was all done in about 20 years. That means placing one stone every 2 minutes, non-stop, 24/7, for 2 decades straight. Even with modern machines, that would be insane. But 4,500 years ago, with no cranes, no trucks, and supposedly just copper tools and ropes. That's where the mystery really begins. Now, the most popular theory is that workers built huge ramps to haul the stones up. Some think it was a straight ramp stretching out for almost a mile. Others suggest a spiral ramp wrapped around the pyramid. And there's even the idea of an internal ramp hidden inside the pyramid itself. Sounds clever, but there's a problem. None of these ramps have ever been found. Not a single trace of them. And if they were really that massive, wouldn't we have seen some remains by now? And then there's the precision. The Great Pyramid is aligned to true north with a margin of error so small, it beats some modern buildings. The base is almost a perfect square, with the sides off by just a couple of inches. And the stones. Some are cut and fitted so tightly, not even a sheet of paper can slide between them. How did they do that without lasers or advanced tools? Just chisels and wooden sleds. Even experienced stonemasons today say, that kind of accuracy is no joke. And lifting those stones. That's another puzzle. Imagine dragging a 10-ton block up 200 feet in the air. By hand? No pulleys. No cranes. No wheels. We're not even sure how they would have coordinated the logistics of it all. That's why some researchers believe the Egyptians may have had knowledge or techniques we've completely lost. Things like stone softening compounds, counterweights, or even unknown forms of energy. Sound crazy? Maybe. But mainstream theories can't explain everything either. Now, here's where it gets wild. Some people think the Great Pyramid wasn't just a tomb, but actually a power generator. Yeah, really. They point out that the materials used, granite, limestone, and basalt, all have electrical or magnetic properties. And the layout. It lines up with Earth's magnetic fields, geometric constants, and even star systems. Could the pyramid have been doing something way beyond just honoring a pharaoh? Could it have been functional, not just symbolic? We don't have all the answers. But here's what we do know, this structure is far more complex, far more precise, and far more mysterious than most people realize. And after thousands of years, we're still trying to figure it out. In part 3, we're going inside the pyramid, into the chambers, the shafts, and the strange anomalies hidden deep within. Some of them were only discovered in the last few years. And what's inside might raise even more questions than what's outside. Inside the Great Pyramid, hidden chambers, mysterious shafts, and bizarre discoveries. The outside of the Great Pyramid is impressive. But what's inside might be even more mysterious. When you step inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, you expect answers. Instead, you get more questions. Unlike most ancient tombs, this pyramid has no carvings, no hieroglyphs, and no royal treasures. It's just stone. Dark, silent, and puzzling. And here's the thing, for a tomb, it's missing some pretty important stuff. No mummy. No sarcophagus lid. No inscriptions explaining who built it or why. Just a few strange, empty chambers. The chambers. There are three main rooms inside the pyramid: the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, and the Subterranean Chamber. The King's Chamber is right in the heart of the pyramid. It's built from giant blocks of red granite, each weighing up to 70 tons. Somehow, they were transported over 500 miles from Aswan, and stacked with laser-like precision. Inside the chamber is a giant stone box, often called a sarcophagus. But there's no body. No markings. No sign it was ever used as a tomb. The Queen's Chamber is lower down. It's smaller, simpler, and more mysterious. Some researchers believe this chamber may have had a symbolic or energy-related purpose. But again, no evidence of a queen ever being buried there. Then there's the Subterranean Chamber. Carved directly into the bedrock, far below the pyramid. It looks unfinished. Strange. Almost forgotten. What was it for? No one knows. The shafts. Here's where it gets really weird. There are tiny shafts, just 8 inches wide, that lead from both the King's and Queen's chambers up toward the outside of the pyramid. They're too small for humans to crawl through. But they aren't random. Some of them point directly at specific stars in the night sky, like Orion's Belt and Sirius. Were these air vents? Symbolic pathways for the soul? Or something else? In 1993, a robotic camera explored one of the shafts and discovered a tiny sealed door with copper handles. Behind it, another empty space. And another stone blocking the way. It was like a series of hidden passages, locked for thousands of years. And still, to this day, we don't know what lies beyond them. The new discoveries. Just a few years ago, scientists used thermal scanning and cosmic ray technology to search for unknown spaces inside the pyramid. And what they found shocked everyone. They discovered a massive hidden cavity above the Grand Gallery. A space over 100 feet long, completely sealed off. Never accessed. Never mentioned in any ancient records. What's inside? Nobody knows. It could be another chamber. A hidden vault. Or something else entirely. And here's the kicker, Egyptian authorities haven't opened it yet. What was it all for? So, what was the purpose of all this? A tomb with no body. A perfect geometric structure with secret shafts, star alignments, and hidden rooms. Was it symbolic? Spiritual? Technological? Some believe the pyramid may have been a machine, built to harness energy from the earth. Others think it was a resonator that used sound and vibration for unknown effects. And some say it was simply a monument, but even they admit it's unlike any other. The deeper we go, the stranger it gets. And despite centuries of research, exploration, and debate, the Great Pyramid is still hiding its secrets. In Part 4, we'll take things even further. We'll dive into ancient maps, global alignments, and strange connections between the Great Pyramid and ancient sites across the world. Because maybe, just maybe, the Great Pyramid wasn't just Egyptian. Maybe it was part of something much bigger. Global connections. Was the Great Pyramid part of a lost ancient network? The Great Pyramid isn't just a wonder of Egypt. It might be a key piece in a much bigger puzzle. Because when you start connecting the dots between the Great Pyramid and other ancient sites around the world, things get really weird. Perfect placement first. Let's talk location. The Great Pyramid isn't just randomly placed in the desert. It sits right at the center of Earth's landmass. Seriously? If you map out all the continents, the pyramid lies at the intersection of the longest lines of latitude and longitude. That can't be a coincidence. It's aligned to true north with stunning accuracy, off by just 0.067 degrees. How could ancient builders, with no GPS or satellites, achieve that? Even modern skyscrapers struggle with that level of precision. Ancient sites on a line. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Take a globe and draw a line starting at the Great Pyramid. Go southeast. You'll pass Petra, Persepolis, Mohenjo-Daro, Angkor Wat, and even Easter Island, all lining up on the same Great Circle. These are ancient sites separated by thousands of miles, across oceans and deserts, yet they fall perfectly along one line. Coincidence? Or evidence of a global understanding of geometry and geography? Some call it the ancient energy grid. Others believe these locations formed a planet-wide network built by a forgotten civilization. Pyramids across the world, and not just Egypt. There are pyramids in China, Mexico, Peru, Bosnia, and even Indonesia. Different cultures. Different time periods. But the structures? Strikingly similar. Some have precise alignments with stars, just like the Great Pyramid. Others are built in stepped layers, like the Mayan pyramids in Central America. Why did ancient cultures, separated by oceans, build pyramids at all? Were they just tombs and temples? Or was there shared knowledge, passed down or rediscovered, across time? Ancient maps and forgotten knowledge. In 1513, a map was discovered, the Piri Reis map. It showed the coast of Antarctica. Without ice? Perfectly detailed. Long before Antarctica was even officially discovered. How is that possible? The map claims to be based on older sources, handed down from ancient times. Could those sources, now lost, have come from the same civilization that built the Great Pyramid? One with advanced navigation skills, deep astronomical knowledge, and a global presence. The missing civilization. More and more researchers are questioning the traditional story of human history. We were told that complex civilizations only began 5,000 years ago. But discoveries like Göbekli Tepe, a massive, advanced site in Turkey, date back over 11,000 years. That's twice as old as the pyramids. And if they had that kind of knowledge then, maybe the builders of the Great Pyramid weren't alone. Maybe they were part of something older. Something global. Something we barely remember. In part 5, we're going to ask the biggest question of all: who really built the Great Pyramid, and why? Was it the Egyptians? An earlier civilization? Or someone else entirely? What was the true purpose of this colossal monument? The final piece of the mystery is coming next. Who built the Great Pyramid, and why? We've explored the structure. We've seen the inside. We've followed the clues around the world. Now it's time to ask the biggest question of all: who really built the Great Pyramid of Giza? Was it just the Egyptians? Or is there more to the story? The official story: mainstream historians say it was built during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, around 2500 BCE. They say tens of thousands of workers, using copper tools and ropes, built the pyramid in just 20 years. But here's the thing: there's barely any evidence linking Khufu to the pyramid. There's no grand inscription. No carving claiming credit. The only mention of Khufu is a tiny piece of graffiti, deep inside a hidden chamber, discovered in 1837. Some believe it was added later. Some even claim it was forged. So if Khufu didn't build it, then who did? An older civilization. What if the pyramid is far older than we think? Some experts believe erosion patterns at the Sphinx, right next to the pyramid, suggest it's been exposed to heavy rainfall. But Egypt hasn't seen that kind of rain for over 9,000 years. Could the pyramid have been part of an ancient civilization lost to time? Maybe the Great Pyramid wasn't a tomb at all. Maybe it was a monument of knowledge, built by a culture we don't even remember. The lost technology theory: there's another idea: the builders had advanced technology. Not iPhones and machines, but something we haven't rediscovered yet. Maybe they understood sound, vibration, magnetism. Maybe the pyramid was a giant energy device, a power plant, a frequency generator, or a tool for something we still can't explain. There are real engineers and scientists who look at the precision, the materials, the geometry, and say, this wasn't just brute force. This was something else. Something we don't understand. Alien theories. And yeah, we have to mention it. Some believe the pyramid was built with help from beyond Earth. They point to the impossible engineering, the astronomical alignments, and the global pyramid phenomenon as signs of ancient contact with advanced beings. It's a wild theory, but it's also a sign of how deep the mystery goes. Because even now, with all our tech, all our research, we still don't really know how, or why, it was built. So, why? Why go through all this effort? To honor a king? To align with the stars? To preserve knowledge? To harness the Earth's power? Maybe it was all of those things. Or maybe it was something we're still not ready to understand. The Great Pyramid doesn't give up its secrets easily. But that's what makes it so powerful. It forces us to question everything. What we know. What we assume. And what we've forgotten. Thousands of years later, it's still standing. Unchanged. Unmoved. Unmatched. A message carved in stone. From a time long gone. Still waiting to be fully understood. If you've made it this far in the series, thank you. And if this left you thinking, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because we're just getting started. There's a whole world of ancient mysteries out there. And we're going to decode them, one by one. And there you have it, the Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the most incredible mysteries in human history, still standing tall after thousands of years. Despite all our advancements, we're only scratching the surface when it comes to understanding how and why it was built. If this video sparked your curiosity and left you with more questions than answers, you're not alone. There's so much more to explore in the world of ancient mysteries and hidden knowledge. But we need your help. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button to show your support. Comment below with your thoughts. What do you think the pyramid was really for? And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new video. We have plenty more ancient mysteries coming your way, and we'd love for you to be part of the journey. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep questioning the world around you. Because history is far stranger than we think.